U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Kyiv today to reaffirm the Biden administration's support for Ukraine. Blinken has acknowledged that delays in Congress passing a military aid package have made Ukraine more vulnerable to Russian attacks. America's top diplomat also insisted the Kremlin must pay for the destruction its invasion has caused.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken pays a symbolic visit to a military-themed pizzeria run by veterans in Kyiv. To reassure Ukraine, more aid is coming soon.
All of us admire your extraordinary resilience, your endurance, your strength, your leadership. And we know this is a challenging time, but we also know that in the near term, the assistance is now on the way. Some of it's already arrived, more of it will be arriving, and that's going to make a real difference against the ongoing Russian aggression.
President Zelenskyy thanked Americans for the aid package worth over $60 billion, but said Ukraine's air defenses were still in need of a boost.
Really, we need today 2 Patriots for Kharkiv region, because the people are under attack, civilians and warriors, everybody there.
Russia's fierce cross-border attack on Ukraine's Kharkiv region is forcing thousands to flee. It's here that Zelenskyy says U.S.-made Patriot surface-to-air missile systems could help protect civilians. In the city of Kharkiv, more than a dozen people were reportedly injured when a Russian-guided missile hit a residential building. Some 30 kilometers away, locals from Vovchansk described constant shelling.
They are shooting from everywhere. Yesterday, there was a hit and the front of our house burned down. Then the house opposite a bit caught fire, as well as 4 or 5 other houses. Smoke is everywhere, a nightmare. It's very bad.
Back in Kyiv, urgent aid for Kharkiv is high on the agenda. Many hope more timely assistance can help Ukraine's outgunned and outnumbered forces fight off Russia's ground offensive.
Let's go ahead and bring in our correspondent, Carolina Chimoy, who is in Kyiv following Blinken's visit. Carolina, why is Blinken making this trip to Ukraine now?
Well, Nicole, first of all, it is, of course, a very important political symbol. This is the first visit of Secretary Blinken after that aid package of over $60 billion was passed by U.S. Congress. Blinken wants to show with this that the United States still supports Ukraine despite any other conflicts in the world, that they are still supporting Ukraine, helping Ukraine, and that this will not change anytime soon. Actually, Blinken's remarks today started with these words. He said, I come with a message to Ukraine, and the message is you are not alone. So a very clear message from Secretary Blinken and a clear political symbol for Ukraine.
Ukraine is in a tough spot right now, especially in the Kharkiv region. How big a sense is there that U.S. aid will be too little, too late?
That is a very good question, Nicole, because, of course, Kyiv is one thing. It's a bubble. It's a political bubble. And the impact of Blinken's visit here in Kyiv is one thing. But the other thing are the frontline cities, the soldiers, the places where people are really fighting and are feeling the shelters and the attacks. We were there a couple of days ago at different frontline cities, not only in the north near Kharkiv, but also in the Donetsk region. Sorry, this is the church just behind the camera. And soldiers were telling us that they are tired of these political symbols, that they need ammunition, they need long-range missiles, they need air defense, that political symbols and political words are not enough. People are dying. Russians are slowly advancing in certain parts of Ukraine. So they're fatigued, and they need to see the weapons, they need to carry the munitions to know that aid is there and that Western countries are really helping.
Well, Antony Blinken actually said that some of the latest U.S.-provided equipment had already been deployed. But what Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he needs most right now are Patriot air defense systems. How likely is the U.S. to follow this request?
Well, it's never only one thing, Nicole. Of course, the Patriot systems are really useful as air defense, but soldiers were also mentioning the F-16 fighter jets, for example. So it's not only one thing, it's always a mix of things. And of course, due to the situation we are seeing now in Kharkiv, the Patriot systems are really, really necessary. Now, Ukraine has 3 Patriot systems, 2 came from Germany, 1 from the United States. Israel might be involved in this, but there are still political discussions about which countries could deliver Patriots that Ukraine would really need. A very important point that Secretary Blinken also mentioned is that Russia has to pay for the destruction it's causing here in Ukraine, Nicole. And U.S. Secretary Blinken said that they will seize the assets, Russia's assets in the U.S. and use them to repair and restore the damage that Russia is causing in Ukraine.
Carolina Chamoy reporting from Kyiv. Always great speaking to you. Thank you so much.